There's nothing more terrifying than the sound of a siren, a sound that has the power to capsize even the strongest ships. They are voices of temptation that lure sailors to their deaths with songs of irresistible beauty. Sirens are creatures of Greek mythology whose mere call was enough to sink entire fleets. But what exactly are they? And why should you never follow the song of a siren? Join me today as we discuss sirens, their deadly voices, and how they managed to capture the imaginations of ancient civilizations. Today we're diving into the world of one of mythology's most terrifying monsters, the siren. If you love all things mythology, folklore, and the paranormal, then make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any new videos. But without further ado, let's get started. In the realm of Greek mythology, sirens were creatures whose appearance varied depending on who was telling the story. Sometimes they were described as half-bird and half-woman, like the harpies of later tradition. Other times, they were said to be wholly human in form, although some sources claim they had tails like fish or snakes. This ambiguity allowed people to interpret sirens in different ways, and throughout history, their image has shifted from frightening monsters to beautiful temptresses. These creatures first appeared in Homer's Odyssey around 800 BC, where they were described as dangerous monsters. Their voices were likened to the alluring singing of a sphinx, and their presence posed a grave threat to passing ships. Sailors who heard their calls would often lose control of their vessels, crash into nearby rocks, and drown. The sirens lived on an island known as the Sirens, located between the mythical land of the Cimmerians and where the sun set over the ocean. In other words, they lived at the edge of the world. This isolated location further added to their mystique and danger. The word siren itself comes from the ancient Greek word syrinx, meaning marsh bird, or syrinx, meaning to sing. It's believed that originally sirens were associated with storms and shipwrecks, acting as a personification of the dangers of the sea. Over time, however, their role evolved and they took on a more prominent place in Greek culture. One of the most famous stories involving sirens is, of course, the tale of Odysseus, the hero of Homer's Odyssey. When Odysseus and his crew approached the island of the Sirens, they were entranced by their enchanting music. Only Odysseus, thanks to the help of the goddess Athena, was able to resist their deadly song. He had himself tied to the mast of the ship, instructing his crew to neither tie him up nor untie him until he gave the order. As the ship sailed past the island, the Sirens did everything they could to lure Odysseus away from his vessel, but he resisted their temptations and remained steadfastly tied to the mast. Eventually, they sang and screamed as they watched the ship sail away, realizing that they had failed once again to lure a victim to his doom. Another notable encounter with sirens can be found in the tale of the Argonauts. During their journey, Jason and his companions came across yet another island inhabited by these creatures. This time, however, it was the hero Heracles who used his strength and cunning to overcome the sirens and rescue the men. But what exactly made sirens so dangerous? What was it about their voices that could capsize even the mightiest of ships? According to Hesiod, author of Theogony, sirens had voices that could charm even the gods themselves. Their songs were so powerful that anyone who heard them would become entranced and irresistibly drawn to the sirens. It was almost as if their voices held a magical quality that defied rational thought and willpower. It's important to note that sirens weren't always portrayed as inherently evil creatures. In fact, they were sometimes seen as victims of their own nature, cursed to live out their lives alone on a deserted island, forever luring sailors to their deaths. Even the goddess Persephone, wife of Hades, king of the underworld, was said to have been transformed into a siren after she accidentally revealed a secret to her father, Zeus. This myth suggests that sirens were not simply malicious monsters, but rather beings who were sometimes trapped by circumstance or fate. So why do you never follow the song of a siren? To answer this question, we need only look to the many myths and legends that tell of their deadly allure. From the greatest heroes to the most powerful gods, no one was safe from the song of a siren. And those who succumbed to its temptations paid the ultimate price. Odysseus, the quintessential hero, resisted the sirens because he knew their song could overcome even the strongest will. He understood that if he allowed himself to be lured away from his ship, he and his crew would likely perish. Heracles, the epitome of strength and bravery, was also tested by the sirens. Yet he overcame their deadly song by taming a wild horse, showing that even the most courageous of hearts must remain vigilant against such temptations. And what of the gods themselves? Poseidon, the earth-shaker, was so taken by the song of the sirens that he sent a dolphin to rescue the musician Orfeo when he drowned trying to compete with them. This myth demonstrates that even the gods were not immune to the power of the sirens, and that their song could move even the most stoic of hearts. Perhaps the most compelling reason to never follow the song of a siren is the realization that their allure is ultimately an illusion. They offer respite from the harsh realities of life, only to lead you further into danger and despair. Their songs may promise peace and tranquility, but their voices ultimately bring nothing but sorrow and suffering. There are several reasons why sirens are still relevant in our modern world. Firstly, they serve as a cautionary tale, reminding us to be wary of temptation and to resist the allure of what might seem like paradise, only to turn out to be our undoing. In a world filled with distractions and false promises, the siren's song remains a potent symbol of the dangers of straying from the path. Moreover, sirens represent the unpredictable nature of life. Just as sailors were often caught off guard by the sudden emergence of these creatures, we too can find ourselves ensnared by circumstances beyond our control. The siren's deadly embrace serves as a reminder of the fragility of our existence and the need to cherish each moment. Finally, sirens continue to capture our imagination because they embody the unknown. As we venture into the vast expanse of the sea, whether physically or metaphorically, we are confronted with the mysteries that lie beneath the surface. The siren's haunting melody echoes the depths of our own souls, reminding us of the darkness that can lurk within the human heart. As we come to the end of our journey into the world of sirens, I hope you've gained a deeper understanding of these fascinating creatures and why their song should never be followed. Remember, the allure of sirens lies in their ability to captivate and deceive, leading their victims to their doom with promises of pleasure and delight. Whether they are depicted as monsters or as tragic figures, sirens continue to hold a powerful grip on our collective imagination. Now I want to hear from you. What do you think? Are sirens truly evil creatures, or are they simply victims of their own nature? Have you ever heard a song so beautiful that it made you weak in the knees? Let us know in the comments section below. And if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit that like button and share it with your friends. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and stay tuned for more exciting content. Thanks for joining me on this journey through mythology, folklore, and the paranormal. Until next time, stay safe and remember to keep an ear out for the Song of Sirens. You never know when it might lure you away from the path.